You and I, Ted, we're in this space where we're just studying for a certification almost every year of our lives. There's a new certification or updating. And this was the first time I ever took an exam that I felt like I actually knew the content really well.
Welcome to Nobody Told Me About It. I'm Tad, and with me is Nabil. Together, we bring 25 years of strategic IT advising, and we're here to slow things down and cut through the hype. Each week, we have the IT strategy conversations your organization needs to be having. Today, Nabil walks us through NotebookLM, the tool he actually uses when he needs to get up to speed on something fast. Take it away, Nabil.
Thanks, Ted. Today, I'm going to actually go over NotebookLM. This is my current tool of choice for learning. If I ever need to learn something, this is my steroids of learning, whether it's studying for a certification exam, whether it's trying to get a grip on what's going on in the headlines. This is my tool. I taught several people this, and they've been in love and they can't turn back. So I'm hoping that the audience today here shares the same feeling. So I'm going to just start with a new notebook. Again, this is for learning something. So you have an exam to study for. You are trying to get briefed on some research before you present to the board. You've got a last minute document from somebody who said, hey, you're going to speak about this. This is your quickest way to not just learn it, but to understand it. You know, my last certification exam, Tad, was the ISO 42001. And I will say, you and I, Ted, we're in this space where we're just studying for a certification almost every year of our lives. There's a new certification or updating. And this was the first time I ever took an exam that I felt like I actually knew the content really well. And so I didn't feel nervous taking the exam, and it was a challenging exam. I didn't feel nervous. I just felt really confident. And it was this tool that I used. So diving right in. So the first thing I did was I clicked a new notebook. And so I can title it here. For this particular one, it's going to be on Incident Command. In my other life, I'm a volunteer at a fire station. So one of the things that we have to do in the very beginning is understand the structure of Incident Command. So I'm coming out of a space where I'm in IT all my life, and now I have to understand Incident Command, and I'm starting from scratch. So this is a good example over here. All right, so I've got 3 panels on NotebookLM. Now, I do want to say I do have the paid version, so I do have a couple more options than the free version, and I'll go over which ones those are. I'll have a code you can use that you can get 4 months of Google One for free, and that will include the pro version of this. So we have 3 sections to this. Left panel, middle panel, right panel. I want to start with the left panel, and I want to add all of my sources of everything that I want to learn. That could be a website, it could be a YouTube link, it could be files, and it could be copy text. First, let me just add my files. So I'll go over here. So this is everything I need to know about Incident Command, and this is just one of 4 sections, but this is, yeah. So this is everything that I want to learn. Do you know how long it would take me to learn this knowledge if I had to read each one and pass an exam on it? I'm adding all of this content. It's going to upload them here on the left. Now, let's say there's something else that's missed that I took a class on and I've got notes, my personal notes. I can click the copy paste and put my personal notes here to add to the knowledge. I've got all of my knowledge here to the left, and that's everything I want to know. In the middle is my chat. This is like your normal Gemini, your ChatGPT, your Claude. This is my normal conversation, but it's basing everything on the knowledge that you see over to the left. So I can ask it questions over here. We can talk about whatever, but it already gave me a summary. This is for the ICS-100 training course, which introduces Incident Command. Cool. Now, the meat of this is all here on the right, the studio. You've got an audio overview, which turns this into a podcast. It takes everything to the left and turns it into a podcast. Over here on the right, and I was going to introduce each one, but because this takes so long, I'm going to just initiate this. But it's really important that you click this arrow. I can just click audio overview and it'll just generate a podcast, but it's very important that I click this arrow over here. As usual in AI, the most important thing is prompting. And so here's a prompt that I'm using right now. I'm taking the ICS-100 exam and I need to learn the contents. Help me understand the knowledge in a way that you are certain I will be 90% ready to pass the exam. I'm not going to do it now, but what I also like to do is actually take this prompt and then I go into Gemini or Claude and I'll tell it, help me prompt this better for NotebookLM, etc. But keep it easy. Do I want a brief podcast of it? Do I want a critique or do I want a debate? I love debates if I'm not studying for something. If I really want to understand a topic, it'll do a podcast where the two co-hosts debate each other on pro or con on the situation. That's a really good way of learning something. But we're going to go into a deep dive. I'll keep it short for this one, but typically I would go long because I want to understand this content. But for just generating, we're going to go on the short. And so I'll click generate. All right, so next we've got the slide deck. Again, I can just simply click slide deck and it'll give me the summary of that. But I'd like to add my own personal prompt. Okay, so I could do either a detailed deck or presenter slides. I could go by the default or I can go by short. I just leave it where it is. Like I said earlier, prompting is big. So I am studying for the ICS-100 exam. Help present this to me in a way I can grasp the knowledge so that I am at least 90% ready to take the exam. Copy this prompt and then click generate. So you'll have those generating there on the right. And then we've got video overview, which will do a video kind of podcast, just like the audio. Again, I'll paste my prompt and then I'll say, give me a brief one. And then you could choose your design here that you want. So let's choose this one. This one's going to be fine. And then generate. We'll let that load. Mind map is amazing. Reports is amazing. I'm going to just go ahead and click the study guide portion of it. Flashcards are what they are. I'm going to go ahead and paste my prompt there. Quiz is going to quiz me. Again, I'm going to put that over here and you can choose medium. I always choose medium in the first iteration. And then once I feel confident about the material, I'll go back and create another quiz and make it more difficult. But I don't want to set myself up for failure from the beginning. So I'll click infographic here. So infographic, I'll show you what that does. And I will choose, clay one's nice. All right, generate. And then we've got all that working. And then finally the data table. And I'll show you what all these do. Okay, so now I've got the knowledge on the left and I've got detailed chat in the middle that I can ask questions. And when I take the quiz or go through the flashcards, if there's anything I don't understand, I can go here in the middle and say, hey, you mentioned this. Can you help explain that to me?
With these, like, where do you start your study process?
Oh, wow, Tad, that was a great question. If I was, for instance, the ISO 42001, there was a video course that we took. So I would start with first taking the course. As opposed to just taking the material, because it's good to have that foundational understanding. Usually when you watch a video course or anything, that first run is just kind of FYI. And then this is the meat.
Gotcha.
I'm glad you asked that question. It's very important. So now let's jump into the mind map. So the mind map is over here and you can see already. So to get a 500-foot view over incident command, Tad, I can just go and click over here. What's the definition and purpose? Well, the definition and purpose of this is fourfold. Let's go to the management structure. There's a structure for incident command. There's the command staff and the general staff. Under the command staff, you've got the incident commander, the PIO, the liaison officer, and the safety officer. The benefits of this is right there, and then the whole community approach. Okay, so looking at this, let's zoom out. Looking at this, Tad, if I just do nothing but go over this over and over in my head, just look at it, I kind of understand what incident command is. And I think maybe you can too. You have the definition, there's different applications with it, which I didn't click in. The management structure, there's a command staff, there's a general staff. So you can almost speak to this generally, what incident command is. And you've come into this conversation not knowing what incident command was. But I bet you if you look at this long enough, you'll be able to at least break it down for me. Already powerful. So that's one. The next one we'll look at is a study guide. So over here is the introduction to the incident command. It breaks it down. There's a short answer quiz over here, a answer key over here, and this just gives you your little study guide. It kind of breaks it down on how you should study for all of this, glossary terms, etc. Now we're going to go into the flashcards. Flashcards are right here. What standardized approach to incident management allows multiple organizations to work together within a hierarchy? If I click over here, the incident command system, I can click the green check mark to say I know this, or red as in I don't, ask me again. And I'll keep going through these flashcards until they're all green and stop asking me questions. Are we good there?
Yes.
All right, so we went over mind map, we went over the flashcards. We went over the study guide. Let's look at the quiz. Here's the quiz. Which component of the National Incident Management System, NIMS, includes the Incident Command System? Communications and Information Management, Resource Management, Command and Coordination, National Preparedness System. I can click one of the buttons. There it is. I'm correct. Command and Coordination. And then over here, I can click Explain. And it'll tell me in the middle where it got that information from, and it'll also explain it for me. If I still don't get it, then I can just go right there in the middle and keep chatting with it. I still don't understand this, or I still don't, or give me a mnemonic to help me understand this better. Something that I do a lot. And so this is your tutor. You're having a conversation with a tutor.
Awesome. Awesome, man.
All right. Now jumping into the data table. And this breaks this down with the topic area, the objectives, titles, best practices, and benefits, and where to apply all this. And it tells you which source it found it in, right? Just another way to understand this. Now, I did choose brief. If I went detailed, this would go a lot more detailed. So now we're going to jump into the Incident Management Essential Study Guide. Look at this infographic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is mastering incident management. You've got your foundations and your management principles, the ICS framework. On the right, the organizational structure. But this is visually how an incident command looks. And this is, if you're a visual learner, I mean, what's better than this right here?
Exactly.
Okay, so now I'm going to jump into the audio. Finish the audio podcast. There are two options here, interactive mode and just play. The paid version gives you the interactive mode. And that's really cool because what it does is, let's just go first, look at the podcast. Here we go.
Okay, let's unpack this. Usually when you have dozens of different organizations showing up to do a massive job, there's a blueprint, right?
Right, yeah, like building a skyscraper or something.
Exactly. Everyone knows their role. They have the schematics. It's planned down to the inch. But when the skyscraper is a sudden flood and nobody has the blueprints, you just get chaos. Well-intentioned people
Over here, I've got speed, so if I need to listen to it faster, I can play it a little bit faster.
show up and end up, just getting in each other's way.
Oh, absolutely. It becomes a mess.
And so that was one option. And then again, if I click
Let's unpack
interactive,
this. Usually when
I can partake in their conversation. So while they're going back and forth into the deep dive and they're trying to explain to me what I need to know, I can say, okay, wait, pause. So you're telling me there's a chain that I need to crawl up to get to the incident commander. I don't have direct access to the incident commander, and they'll break that down for me. So that's the podcast. Every morning I walk with my dog, and what I like to do is I like to get some of these podcasts, if you will, ready, and we just walk and I listen to all this content. What greater way to study for an exam or to study something than to do it while walking a dog?
Awesome. And being out in nature and just enjoying the real world and not chained to your desk.
So we're still waiting for the generate. It's generating the video portion, and we'll be done. We got a lot of this in 10 minutes.
Yes. And having worked with you on it, it's now my go-to tool as well. So thank you for sharing that. And I think our audience is definitely going to find this useful.
Yeah, totally. If I don't like how any of these ended up, if I feel like the quiz is not really covering what I need to, I can generate another one, but I can also delete this one. Also, view custom prompts, by the way, this is a really important feature here. If I click view custom prompts, I can copy this prompt and go and put it in the other ones. But if this quiz didn't do it for me, I could just delete it and then just create a new one. And then in the prompt say, can you focus only on this portion? Because that's where I struggle. You can create as many of these as you need to. On the free version, you cannot. You only get like 3 shots per studio item. And if you don't get it, you can check back tomorrow. So you definitely want the paid version on this. And then again, I just stress that you use maybe a tool like Google One, because you'll get Notebook included in it. But you can buy just Notebook. You can pay for Notebook alone, but I think you will want the whole experience of Gemini plus Notebook plus the Drive. Another feature while this is continuing to load, Tad, is I can share this with you. So if I want to study for something together with you, I can just click share and add this to you. So either A, we can look at it together, or B, maybe I've I passed the ISO 42001 exam, and I'll say, hey, Tad, here are my notes. I can click share and say, here are my NotebookLM notes. Just use this. It's already done. Saves you a ton of time of prep.
That's awesome. And I know we've collaborated in such a manner before, so I appreciate both your educational experience in this area as well as your generosity of sharing resources.
Yeah, of course. Okay, ready to see the video?
Yes.
All right. And again, I can control the speed.
Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right in. Today, we're unpacking the absolute anatomy of a disaster response. You know, when a massive crisis hits a community, the difference between total collapse and, well, coordinated survival, it isn't just luck. It's about having a highly structured, super adaptable system ready to go. So we're going to explore
So just like the audio,
heavy rain, rivers and lakes are rising fast, and citizens are getting understandably nervous, wondering if they need to pack up and evacuate. The local emergency management
and I know all of us are visual learners.
Shelters,
so
massive operations, blankets, cots, basic necessities. They're all staged and ready to go.
So how helpful do you think that is?
This is really awesome, and it generated all of this based on the information you gave it in the PDFs and whatnot.
Correct. It's nice because it limits its knowledge and its understanding to only the data that I need. It doesn't bring in the noise from the internet. This is what I need to pass the exam. This is all I want to talk about.
So it's less likely to hallucinate something that's going to throw you off in your exam studying process.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
And
thank you, Nabil. This has been extremely informative. And did you want to mention again, I think you had a special offer for folks if they want to try this out for free?
A link in the videos. You get 4 months free. So you can try this out for 4 months for free to include the pro version of this. So as opposed to the limited free one.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks again, man. And we'll see each other next week.
Look forward to it.